When I was a baby witch, the first thing I started doing was reading books about craft. And one of my favorite authors is Judika Illes. So fast forward, recently, Judika told one of her liaisons at Wiser Books to send me this book. She told her that she knew that I would love it. And Judika is definitely psychic because I adore this book. Oh my God. I cannot wait to tell you about this book. I am so excited. So let's get started. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody who might like this video too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you want to get a copy of Glamour Witch, please look directly underneath this video. There will be a link to where you can buy this at the Wiser Books website. Also underneath this video, you're going to find information all about me, okay? So if you want to get a reading done, if you want to become one of my patrons on Patreon, if you want to send me a gift, all of that information is underneath this video. So let's get started. So let me tell you why I'm so excited about Glamour Witch. First of all, Glamour Witch is written by Sophie St. Thomas. And any of you who are familiar with magazines might have seen her work already. Sophie has been a columnist for Vice. She's a producer at MTV Networks, and she has contributed to GQ, Allure, Glamour, Marie Claire, Pride, Cosmopolitan, Harper's Bazaar, and Playboy. Oh, and High Times, one of my favorite, just to name a few. Sophie has written 4 books, okay? So why am I excited about this one? First of all, let me tell you something. Sometimes you read a book, and this is the first time I've ever done a book review on this channel because books take me a while to get through. I love reading. I read all through college, but I haven't read enough in the past, like I'd say 3 years. So I promised myself that I would read more books, and witchcraft, astrology, you know, these are my favorite topics. So the thing about this book is that I love the author's voice. Every author speaks with an authentic voice, and Sophie has this kind of quirky, sassy, a smart, slick mouth, you know, but this intelligence to it, is sex positive, is people positive, is LGBTQ plus positive. The book is just really positive, and it gives a lot of beauty tips, and it's for everybody too. It's not just for women. It's not just for witches either. Like a regular person could pick this book up and learn things about how to make themselves more alluring, you know? And that's what I love about this book. The front of it says, Glamour Witch, conjuring style and grace to get what you want. I love that. Because why should we not have what we want, okay? So let me just explain a little bit about what Glamour Witch is. The term glamour, according to this, let me explain it to you right here. I'm going to read it directly from the book. The word glamour originally meant to cast a spell. It was an illustration created. Oh, I'm sorry. It was an illusion. I said an illustration. It was an illusion created by witches. So that means that glamour magic is basically one of the oldest forms of magic. It's all about using style, grace, colors, makeup, jewelry, piercings, different things like that to make yourself even more alluring than you already are. And this will intrigue others and draw their eye. Let me read you another important part. The word glamour comes from Scotland. In the early 1700s, the Scottish adjusted the English word grammar to glamour. with the definition being a magic spell. But even before then, notable magicians such as the aforementioned Johann of Germany, is Johann Georg Faust of Germany, associated the word grammatica with occult learning. In the mid-1800s, the word glamour began to take on connotations of beauty and fashion, but the alluring mystical roots of the word remained and still do to this day. So Sophie continues on to talk more about the history. I love that the most. I was a history person. That was my major. So it was, what was it? African American history. So I'm into history. I love history. But I also taught world history, American history, all kinds of different things. So I love that part. So Sophie, this book is broken down into two parts, okay? The first part, Sophie has part 1, Glamour 101. This is where we see the history of glamour. We see its origins. We see that it's not just for women, that glamour is for men, all types of different people, performers, drag queens, drag kings, all kinds of people use glamour all the time. Even people, some people will say, if you use perfume or jewelry or makeup, you're using glamour magic. So she goes into that in the very first part of part 1. Then she talks about color. Different colors bring about different things. And the thing about this is that you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, is this about drawing a mate? It absolutely is. But it's not just that. For example, let's say that you want to appear confident and powerful for a job interview. Okay? There's certain colors, there's certain associations that you can use that for. So it's not just about finding someone to spend the night with or your life with, but it's also about other things like getting jobs, influencing people, maybe even getting out of a traffic ticket. Who knows? Who knows what you can do with your glamour? I also love how she said that your vanity, you know, where your makeup and stuff is like an altar. And she talks about how to, you know, how to use it in that way. She also goes into, in part 2, part 1, section 2, she goes into how you can use astrology and tarot in this. And I thought this was really interesting. And the way that she said this was that, like, if you're a certain sun sign, you may be pulled towards certain things. For example, let's take a look at one of my favorite signs is Libra, right? And it says here, let me see, that a beauty trick for Libra specifically is sunscreen. So she's talking about Libras taking care of their skin. Now this is something that we all can do, but this is something that, like, she specified them to the zodiac. So let's look at Aquarius. Aquarius, it says here, stand out with a pop of color in your makeup. For example, add a swipe of blue on top of a black wing liner. Sexy. So Aquarius, she's saying basically pops of color. Libra, it was the moisturizer, giving you that dewy look. Aries, it says here, maybe a red lip will be great for an Aries. So she broke them down like that. And I thought that was really fun. But then she took it a step further and went into tarot. So in this section, she tells us basically you can do something very simple. Like, let's say you want to pull a card to see what your look could be for that day. Okay? And let's at random say that we pulled the strength card. So if you pulled the strength card today for your glamour tips, it says strength shows a woman taming a lion, representing her inner emotional landscape. This card reminds us that having a good therapist is as important as having a good plastic surgeon. So with this one, she's saying one of the things that makes you more attractive is being emotionally healthy. So it's not just going into, you know, picking up some jewelry and getting a piercing here and there. It goes into a number of different things that can help to make you more alluring to whoever you want to be alluring to. Then she continues on, and part 3 is clothing, jewelry, skin, hair, makeup, perfume. Let's see. and nails and body modifications. I especially love the part where she talked about tattoos and how the placement of them can be alluring and sexy. Okay, I thought that was cool. I love how sex positive this is, how empowering this book is. This book is not afraid of going out and getting what you want. This book is not afraid of, tapping into your seductive energy, and neither should you be. Okay, and I love that about this book. So it was very fun. And then part 2 is your Glamour Grimoire. Now this part here is really interesting because in part 2 there's all these different spells and things that you can use glamour magic for. For example, I'll open up to one. This one is how to make a face mask to make your skin, more attractive. And what I liked about this one is that this is the one that I think it was Cleopatra. Yeah, this is Cleopatra used this actual one. It's a milk and honey face mask. And there are other spells in here too about how you can do different things that work with glamour. That's the whole second part. It's all, the whole thing is different spells. And let me give you another one. There's one here that says, love your tattoos. Now this one is, and these spells are really easy to use. I mean, anybody can do these. You don't have to be like a master, master spellcaster to use these. But this one was really cool. The love your tattoo spell is all about like really this kind of ritualistically, meditatively giving your tattoos some love, putting some lotion on them after a nice shower, taking some rose quartz and rubbing them across your tattoos. These kind of things all build your energy and it builds your allure. So that's the whole second part. The whole second part is a bunch of them. And I'm going to tell you one of these that I did that some of you may find to be very interesting. There's a spell in here. It's called use the moon to charm your strap-on. I did this one. Some of you may be like, what, Queen? What did you do? Yes, I did. I charmed my new vibrator. TMI to some of y'all, but after I saw this, I was like, I gotta try this. So basically what you do, you take a new toy, strap-on, dildo, whatever, and you put it out during the new moon. I used the full moon, but she said the new moon. And you basically put it out like on the windowsill where nobody's going to see it, and put crystals around it and meditate on an intention. So every time you use it, you're working to manifest your intention. So since I had just got a brand new one that somebody gave me as a gift and it was in my drawer, I was like, I'm going to try this spell. Now, mind you, I haven't tried the toy yet, but she tells you exactly how to do the spell, and I did the entire spell and then put it back in the bag and put it in the drawer for when I actually want to work with it. And basically it says here that you put it out in a, like, I'm gonna read this to you. Place the dildo sticking straight up in view of the magical dark sky. If you have favorite crystals, you can use them to form a circle around the dildo. Let it sit there overnight as your intentions infuse the strap-on. So that's what I did with it. And then after I was done with it, I put it back in the drawer. And now it is nice and charged with my intentions. So when I want to work on whatever I intend, I think I intended it for love. I think I did. So when I decide to work on love again, this is something that I'll be able to use. So I thought that was interesting. I've never seen a spell anything like that before. I've seen sex magic spells. I mean, any of us that are into this have seen those, but I have never seen something that specific. So I did it. So I'll let you guys know how it works when I actually get to using it. So like I said before, I love the fact that she also mentions all kinds of people who successfully use glamour magic too. Like for instance, she mentions David Bowie. And we all know how great David was with glamour. So like I said, I won't tell you the whole book in case you actually want to read it, and I think that you should. If you want to use your energy, if you want to use your energy to, get what you want, to, draw people in, this is definitely a book for that. If you're male, if you're female, doesn't matter. Cisgender, trans, doesn't matter. Everybody is welcome to this book, and everybody is covered in this book. Sophie did a wonderful job with this. Now, there are other glamour witch or glamour magic type books on the market. I can't speak for them because I haven't looked at them yet, but I can say that Sophie did a fantastic job with explaining this in the most plain language that she possibly can. Like I said before, you don't have to be, a PhD or a master spellcaster to use and understand this book. She has other icons in here. Remember, I mentioned David Bowie. Beyonce is covered in here because I think she's a Virgo. Yeah, under the Virgos. And there's a whole bunch of other people in here that she covers during the zodiac aspects. So I really enjoyed this book. I want to thank Wiser Books again for sending it over, and I suggest you get it if you want to learn how to use your energy in this way. I think that it is awesome. And the woman that sent it to me, Judica, and her liaison over at Wiser Books, it was interesting because Judica said she will love this. And I don't know how she knew that. She's a witch, so so we know all kinds of things. So I don't know how she knew that, but she was 100% right. I was very pleasantly surprised at how interesting, and I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anybody talk about using tarot, using astrology in this way. I've never seen somebody using spells in this way, except for sex magic spells, but it goes beyond that. So if you're really interested, check out the link underneath this video and get this book. And let me know. You can let me know privately, or you can let me know underneath this video what you think of it. Okay? All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.